Do anything I wanna do. Do anything I wanna do. Do anything I can do anything.
Welcome back to Let's Help You Grow Now, because I'm here to help you grow now. I'm going to do a reaction to Lil Tecca wrote 400 songs for his album Plan A, Bars and Nuggets, Amazon Music.
Just because, like, I think it's kind of a egotistical way to identify yourself.
See, you got it. Look at this. You got big fans on the front row.
What's up, y'all?
How you feeling?
I'm chilling. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. We appreciate you pulling up.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. You came into popularity when you were 16. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You're 16, and you were in high school at the time. Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
What is that like for someone who will never know what that feels like? What does that feel like to go from everyday Tyler to Lil Tecca, and like not only your classmates know who you are, but all of their friends and then the outside world? Can you describe what that's like?
I'm going to speed this up.
It's like, I'll put it like this, like, you definitely do get to see an instant change. It's like, you know, when you come to class and you back out a piece of gum, pack of gum, everybody like, yo, let me get a piece. Yeah. You see the instant change of energy. That's kind of a dumb way to...
No, but yeah, no,
that's the easiest way I can explain it, honestly.
Did you end up staying in that environment, or did you like, it was like, nah, we gotta get up out of this environment?
I definitely remember the day I called my mom in class and I'm like, I'm not going to school no more. Just because like things did get really hectic, like people that wasn't in my class would just pull up to my class and just, I don't even know. You know?
Yeah, you feel like you're in a fishbowl.
Yeah, kind of.
And then no one to kind of protect and like.
Yeah, kind of.
You know?
But my school is lit though. Shout out to my school. It just did get a little hectic. I was like, yo, I had to leave.
Yeah.
For sure.
Are you at a point where you feel like you're comfortable in your own skin, you're comfortable being able to be like who you want to be?
100%. 100%. You definitely have to adjust to like reception and just because you're creating something that you really care about it.
Yeah.
It might take you a year to work on this album. It takes someone 30 seconds to call it trash. You know? You got to get used to that sort of perception, like, you know, like, can't take everything personally.
How was that learning for you? Like, was there a particular like instance where you felt like, oh, this is when I got to learn this?
Honestly, it didn't come overnight because I used to respond to people in my comments talking crazy. Like, you know, I definitely had to adjust to like realizing like everyone has their own opinion. Everyone don't like chicken. Everyone don't like that.
Yeah.
So
it's you can't go to war with the comments.
Yeah, you can. You want to.
So it's because it's literally like, I feel like when you go to war in the comment section, it's like you think you're being logical and you think the person there is also being logical and rational, and there are no rules in the comment section.
And they don't care.
They just want to get that comment off, or just want to be funny, you know? I used to lose sleep. And I have like 0.00% of the comments you have. So I can only imagine, how that.
Yeah, it gets old.
It gets old. How's that growth happen and change for you internally, right? Like
Now, if you're an upcoming artist, independent artist, I highly suggest you to go to war in the comments, because that's gonna get the post more seen. You feel me? Lil Tecca, you don't have to do that right now, but I highly suggest you to do that, honestly.
Spoke about that from the outside perspective, but as you have become who you are, how does that impact who you are inside?
It definitely made me like have to age beyond my years. Like as a 16-year-old, like I definitely felt like 30, for sure.
Because you felt like you had to have a maturity just to be able
to just because I couldn't act my age to be where I was at.
Wow.
I couldn't. I had to be way more responsible than my peers and shit. You know, so
what's been maybe the biggest fear you've encountered on this journey so far?
Every drop is the biggest fear. It's the biggest excitement. It's the combination of every single feeling, because you're taking all your vulnerabilities and pushing it to the world.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's something that you really care about. So I would say, on my drop days, those are my most nervous days, those are my most excited days, everything.
And when you say that, do you typically, is there like an expectation of like how you want people to respond to it, or is it just more so like the anxiety buildup of like, you know, just that day happening in general?
You know, after you drop an album, after 3 months, you're going to get those drop the next album comments. And it's going to come. I dropped the album.
So is it that fast now? Like,
It kind of is. It kind of is that fast.
how do you, I guess, if you're in this rhythm, right, where now there is some sort of expectation, right? New single, feature, have something popping on TikTok, blah, 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 all the plays, you know.
And speaking of dropping, like if you drop a project, whether it's a mixtape, EP, or album, next 3 months, I'm talking about coming up as an artist, the next 3 months you need to look to dropping something else, whether it's a single album or EP. Just to keep yourself fresh. You feel me? Like spend 3 months at a time. Spend 6 months if you can. You feel me? But 3 months or 6 months or a full year. Like there's no in between how often you should be doing it. If you do just drop one project for that year, you know what I'm saying, stuff happens. If it's due to those type of reasons and it's just one project for the year, make sure you got music videos. You're promoting it heavy. Feel me? So yeah, I dropped like 2 projects this year. So one was a mixtape, one was an EP. But I dropped that with singles. So
How do you stay inspired and able to translate that into a record as quickly as it seems, right? But I do understand the discernment that you've already established where you're like, that is expectation, and then there's also what you decide to deliver as, you know?
I honestly think that the magic is all in the connection and in the reception. The making of the music and the making of the world building is always going to be inspired from like movies and Pinterest and Instagram and stuff, like random things. But the connection is actually what makes the magic, because you can't fabricate these moments that happen when people like the music.
Yeah.
You know, you can add gas to it, but you can't create it.
Yeah, you can't manufacture it.
Yeah, it's sort of just like making your craft and kind of giving the space for the magic to happen without like putting so much pressure on what you're doing.
Yeah. You ever feel like there's this added pressure when it comes to like when you have a plan? Do you feel like there's pressure to succeed in that plan?
Yeah, because when you have a plan, you got the whole thing mapped out. And when you trust in yourself, it's kind of the best thing because you don't got no one else to blame. So I don't really want to blame anyone else besides myself.
I mean, they say that's a great quality of a leader. You got to take accountability.
Because you got people following your footsteps. They got to trust that you're not bringing them to
your mission. Trying to lead them to the water, right? When it comes to this new project, how did you approach it differently than Tech?
I kind of didn't approach it too differently. I kind of just sharpened the skills that I know kind of work for me. Just trusting my intuition when it comes to like beat selection, like melodies. And at the end, like we make 400 songs and we just try to...
You made how many songs?
400. 400 for this album cycle.
And this was across, this was album, it took a year?
Yeah, this is since I finished Tech. So out of those, we just try to pick the best songs.
How many songs is that a day on average?
Honestly, I don't know.
Is that like
a little bit more than one a day?
It's like one and a quarter.
Yeah, like something like that. But there's some days where I might record 5 songs. There's some days I might not record, and then the next day I record 6 songs. So
that's how it be.
And so what's that process like? Are you spending time where you're like,
I haven't sat down, and I'm gonna start switching it up, and literally was like, okay, I'm gonna write 400 songs for this one particular project. Now, have I wrote more than 1,400 songs? Yeah, of course. But I'm saying be intentional, like, okay, I'm gonna write this much songs for this particular project. I actually need to try that out. I'm actually gonna try that out after this project. Like, I'm just gonna record a bunch of songs over a period of time, over the next 3 months. Let me see. Yeah, over the next 3 months, and we'll see where we at. I'm just gonna record for like one project, but of course, the other songs can lead out as a single or a tape.
I want to structure it in pen and paper, or is it more so like you heard something, you're in your studio, and you're just being spontaneous and going in that moment, and that's how you're creating what you want to express?
Well, my studio is right next to my bedroom, so I will wake up at like 7 in the morning and just start recording. Like, there's a couple songs that was made at like 6 in the morning.
Wow. And that's like, do you prefer to work that way?
I kind of just work whenever it comes to me. I don't really have a preference.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy because I love to like understand like how artists get into like, is there a rhythm, is there a routine?
But everyone got their own like little wave. Like some people might have like the same color lights in the studio every time. Some people might have like they need a bottle of Henny. Like some people might have their little sauce, but I don't know. I just need some weed.
I was gonna ask you. I was like, what do you need?
Weed. That's it.
Man, when you I guess when you think about that, the plan, does that apply to like life too? Or are you
100%. That's all because I don't have anything besides music. Without music, I don't have anything. So this is very parallel to my life.
And has this always been the case with you, where you're like I understand the intent of it being plan A, right? And that whole conversation being like, oh, you got to have a backup plan.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I had hoop dreams, honestly. Like,
Word.
I was trying to go to the league, but in 7th grade, I realized I wasn't going to the league. And then I started making music. That's really what happened.
Man, what happened in 7th grade? You was in the middle of a middle school pickup.
All right, let me keep it a buck. Let me keep it a buck.
What happened?
7th grade, I really realized I wasn't going. But then in 9th grade, I tried out. And I didn't make the team. But here's what got me though. My man that was on the lacrosse team at the time, he was my man at the time, he jacking. Yeah, I'm about to make the team. He's the same coach as the lacrosse team. Watch this. He didn't even go to all the practices. Made the team. And I be smoking him.
So what was the deal?
But that was, there was no deal. He just trying to prove a point. He put the the day after.
Bro, what?
I was even trying to make it. But yeah, that's what made me to sound like it's enough.
You said it's not for you.
Yeah, that's cut all ties after that.
You cut all ties?
It was chill. Or shot.
Y'all better not mess with Lil Tecca. It was y'all off. Man, so what do you like when going back to process? Like, did you ever write first?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So give us the difference. Like, what is for an artist? What is the difference between the writing process and just going straight to recording to mic?
Well, when you write into a beat, you know, it might take longer. It's kind of just like having your mind on a piece of paper in a way. It's like you're able to edit certain lines and go back. It's kind of like crazy when I sit down and think about it. But when you go line by line, you might make a song in like 15 minutes. You know, like you might not even realizing that the bars you're saying is making sense just because you're really in that mode. Like, the style is definitely gonna be different. You can't really create a song. If you write to a beat and punch into a beat, it's gonna be two completely different songs, two completely different energies. Sometimes I got other friends that make music and shit, and they say that when they write, it sounds like they're reading off of paper when they're rapping and so they don't like writing.
They don't like writing. What would you say are the constraints to punching in, doing more of a freestyle?
I say depending on your music style, if you sit down and write a song, you have a really good chance at making a great song, like a very cohesive, melody-driven, story-driven song. But when you're going line by line, you can make a very like amped up song. Not too much thought to it, but it's still gonna hit in those ways it needs to hit.
Yeah.
Like ad-lib driven, things balance driven. Like.
You like get in the pocket.
Yeah.
Bro, I swear to you, the ad-lib, if you go freestyle to a song, their ad-libs are not good. I don't know what to say. But I write and I freestyle. I do it both. At this moment, I freestyle more than I write, but I still write. You can tell when you write, shit just be put together. Like it's like, I feel like if I write, it has to be a good song because what the fuck I'm writing shit for? You feel me? I could go freestyle and just try my chances there. But I prefer both. I don't really feel like one is better than the other. But I will say though, you're a new artist, like I'm talking about new, like I haven't made a song yet or haven't made up to 100 songs yet. Really 1,000. But I say to 100, you need to write. That way you can figure out what's your intentional style. Because if you just freestyle, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, but you not gonna discover it. I say that you're more pinpoint on the flow. So what you'll do is you'll freestyle, okay, boom, that's the flow. And you'll go right. And then you will mix it up together. Feel me?
Stream of consciousness. Like, well, one, I'm not good at music in general, but I'm just like, I feel like I would have a challenge. I would take a lot to get into a place where I'm like completely free mind and I can like be in there and not be trying to think about.
I'll say for someone that's never made a song before, going line by line might be more comfortable for them.
Yeah. Going
line by line, just because they could hear themselves through the whole process. Like, because you might write a song and it's not going to sound the same when you go to record it, and that might discourage certain people. So you go line by line, you can hear what you're doing throughout the whole thing.
Exactly right.
When it comes, you had mentioned beat selection. When it comes to beat selection production, what typically is there a certain type of sound that catches your ear? And then is there a certain type of sound that you want to create that you feel is aligned with you as an artist?
When it comes to like my more melodic songs, I definitely look for like beautiful chords and just like bouncy drums. But when it comes to like songs I'm trying to perform, just drum driven. Like the melody kind of comes after and more the repetition and shit like that.
Yeah. And so you're thinking about the performance too.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Because that all matters. Like, just like we were talking about music videos, downloading music videos, music, performing the music. That's a whole different aspect.
No, yeah, it's completely
whole different aspect.
Because there's stuff where you'll hear a record and it's great, but for some reason it just doesn't feel right when you're in an arena or a stadium type of vibe. Like it might feel too slow or it might feel, but in the car or in my headphones or whatever, I'm like, yo, this is, you know, but for some reason there's like, I don't know, there's some sort of, transition or something that doesn't translate, I guess is what I'm saying.
100%. And sometimes it's the reverse. Sometimes you might hear a song and it don't hit and then you hear it at the concert and it's like, yo, this is a movie.
Talk to me a little bit about lyrically on Plan A. It sounds like you're way more expressive on the love front, frustration, loss. How much of that is coming from personal experiences that are allowing you to tap into like these broader emotions?
A lot of it's honestly coming from my life, honestly. We're talking about my mom on there, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's probably
people don't even know I got a mom. People be asking.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Now that I think about it, when you freestyling, it gives you, because when I be freestyling sometimes, like I discover new energies, like new flows. So it's better to freestyle first and then go right. Far as flow and energy, because you can just place the words with the flow and energy, but if you don't know the flow, because that's what makes the song for real. Far as mainstream wise, far as getting a big audience, it's like it's gonna be between your flow, your delivery, just your whole put together. You know what I'm saying? Because if you just reading it, you're not gonna really discover your flow like that. Like, at least you're not gonna discover it fast enough. Like you're not gonna know what you're really capable of if you just read it off a script. It's like you're acting, but you gotta put it, like you gotta figure it out. So like for actors, they gotta figure that motherfucker out because they don't have no choice but to read the script. So they gotta figure it out. You feel me? Which can take you a long time. But if you just freestyling is just a quick way of, getting it done.
Ask me if I got parents.
Hopefully y'all understand that.
Like that. So yeah, definitely just a step closer to like the more personal side of it.
Why did you feel like it was time to really tap into that and I guess, be comfortable even doing that? Because I feel like that's like to your point, like in one regard, it's kind of like dope that they don't know about your parents or your mom. And like, there's kind of like a nice bit of separation there, right? But now you're kind of opening that door, which, might require more.
Yeah, 100%. I just thought it was time just because, the beginning of my catalog is kind of more surface level. It kind of just takes care of like the thing that a young artist is taking care of, just sounding cool, just, stuff like that. And I just feel like as I get older, there's more things I could be talking about. And I'm always gonna talk about what I'm wearing and, stuff like that, but there's more things to my life that I could be putting light on.
Yeah, no, I feel you when you're 16.
You don't really got too much to say.
Yeah. There's some 16-year-olds, I don't want to be
100%,
generalize folks' experiences. There's some folks that do go through some crazy experiences early on. But there was a great majority of us that didn't know shit at 16. And then when you're thinking about like that personal process, did that impact the creation process differently than before? Since it was so personal, like, especially the song about your mom, you know what I mean?
I think it kind of just happened on its own, because when you're making 400 songs an album, you end up saying the same thing a lot of times. And you're like, let me start talking about something different. And those are kind of the songs that stick out to me more. Yeah. Just like actually wanted to broaden my horizon on what I'm speaking about.
Yeah. What is the difference between a mixtape and an album today? And the reason I asked that is because there's a conversation that I saw recently with Doechii. And she was releasing a project. She was talking about like, Bop was a mixtape. And it was like, well, what is the difference now? Because like people will say mixtape and a mixtape has original songs on it. And what I thought a mixtape was like either like, sometimes it's rapping over somebody else's stuff or sometimes it's like you're putting out stuff that you can't get cleared because of whatever rights or whatever. I don't know. What do you think about it?
I think, honestly, today a mixtape is just like a way to put out music without having to call it an album. Just because the word album has a lot more weight on it than mixtape. Like you can get away with just dropping some shit on a mixtape, but you can't get away with dropping shit on the album.
Okay, so it's more setting expectation with the audience.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know, if I say mixtape, it's more like, maybe this was me like going through like a lyrical exercise, or maybe this was, am I overanalyzing this?
I think, no, I don't think that you're wrong. I don't think that you're wrong. I just think like, it's like you go to the group chat with your bros, you're like, yo, I'm about to drop a mixtape. They're like, oh shit, bro, been working. But you go the next day like, yo, I'm about to drop my album. They're like, hold on, when you was working on the album? Like, that's really all it is. Like,
Okay, you just simplified it for me. I'm still confused. So going back to 16, right? So you blow up, you have the success. Did you have any mentors, any guidance around that? Like, how are you, because you also mentioned that you had to grow up really fast. So I guess my question is like, who was helping you do that?
Me and all the bros, we be saying we our own OGs, honestly, because we didn't know no one in the game before we got in it.
Yeah.
So we kind of just had to learn and make our own mistakes as we go, fall on our face and get up on our own.
Wow. How much harder was that, do you think?
Definitely, probably way harder, honestly. But I don't know any come up besides my own, so I don't got nothing to compare it to be honest. Because I wouldn't take anything away from anyone else to come up. Everyone else got to get up on too.
Yeah.
But to be honest with y'all need to get a Charlotte mentor. And just to speak on, and I'm speaking on it like business-wise, you need to get you a mentor like myself. You join my Let's Help You Grow Now program. And I'm gonna help you skip some steps. That way, you know, it won't take you long. You feel me? Join my Let's Help You Grow Now program. Just go to my website. LetsHelpYouGrowNow.gumroad.com. Hit this. I'm gonna walk you through every step. You feel me? And we're gonna get you right. Simple as that. Because it's a lot of things, especially as an artist coming up with no backing, with no help, and nothing that you don't know that you need to know. And it's not that you won't know. I'm not gonna sit up here like everybody else and tell you you're never gonna figure it out. Like, you're not gonna know what to do. No, you're gonna know, but it's gonna take you years. It's gonna take you a long ass time. But you know how many independent artists that got a million streams yet? I got millions of streams on multiple songs, multiple mixtapes. You feel me? So, but they just don't know the information. So if you need the information, you know what I'm saying? Let me help you skip a couple of steps. Simple as that.
Take it to school with you. We're going to go to the audience for some questions. Show of hands, who's got questions?
My name's Sade, like the singer. Hi, Lil Tecca. So I became a fan from my little brother. So I am here for him. But like I said, he made me a fan. So we were talking about some of your old music, and that's really what he had put me on at first. And I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't really a fan. I was like, I don't really like this stuff. Like, I didn't really like the rah-rah. But keep in mind, my little brother, he's like 2 years older, or 2 years younger than me. So I'm acting like I'm super old. I'm not that much older than you. But I was like, I was like, that's immature. Like, you need to be listening to some other stuff. He kept on sending me music, It wasn't to show me up, where it finally clicked with me. And I heard your lyrics, and I felt that authenticity that I think the rest of your fan base, the rest of like people like my little brother. So I say all that because I feel like that you're a role model for young men, young Black men. And do you see yourself as a role model? And if so, like, what do you think your impact is going to be? Because I definitely feel like your fan base has definitely grown. Like, you got young Black women, and it's going to keep on going because, like, you're tapping in with Gunna, you're tapping with these other artists. And like I said, you even said, too, you're talking about other things as now, too. So
honestly, shout out to your little brother first.
Shout out Andrew.
But I'm gonna say I don't really look at myself as a role model.
Interesting. Why do you think that?
Just because, like, I think it's kind of an egotistical way to identify yourself, and I try to separate myself as much as I can from the things that I've done. And if I carry the weight on my shoulder of being a role model every day, I wouldn't have enough time to grow as a person.
Right.
Just because every moment and everything I do, I'll be thinking about, is someone going to look at this and want to copy me or be influenced by me? And I would never lead anyone down the wrong path or anything like that, but I definitely support a very individualistic view of life. Inspiration is essential, but role model, I don't think it's a good thing to have role models.
I think that's fair because it's like they don't meet your heroes type.
Yeah, in a way.
That's fair.
In a way.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. It was crazy because you're 16 at the time. But you had got a lot of critics early in your career, right? And these critics were like speaking about what you were speaking about, girls, guns, money, all this stuff, right? But the thing that is interesting in music is this language we put around storytelling. When we look at movies, this is storytelling as well, right?
100%.
And actors are allowed to be characters.
Yes.
In music, more specifically, I feel like in hip hop, in particular, hip hop and rap, there's like this thing that is not really defined, and it says who gets to be storytellers and who has to one-to-one live and embody this thing. How do you feel about that conversation? How do you think about it today? Like, do you even think about it?
I don't really think about it, but I love it though. Just because that's hip hop. Hip hop started in the Bronx, outside. You couldn't hear it unless a dude made a beat and someone knew how to freestyle. So like, it's a very, you know, it's not like a casual genre. It's very popular today, and you know, you could make music with an iPhone, but there's still people that think about hip hop with its roots, and I can't take that away from them.
Yeah,
for sure.
Do you also feel like maybe it's generational differences too?
For sure, there's definitely generational differences. You could just see from the artists, it's a lot of generational differences, but it's still hip hop though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
still rap.
Yeah, I don't think anyone could say that it's not. Is there any like music or genre artists out right now that you found yourself gravitating to or finding inspiration from?
I find a lot of inspiration from my producers, honestly.
Oh, word.
A lot of inspiration from them. Just because I make beats myself, and I always tell them I wouldn't be shit without these beats. You know, if I ain't have nothing to rap on, I wouldn't be nothing.
No, facts.
So, whatever they making, they the real geniuses.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that's so fascinating. We just were speaking with Turbo, and he was talking about, you know, how he likes to approach, and like he's thinking about what he's building and also working with the artist and like being a part of that full process and not just be like, here's a beat and then I'm out. I get it. Like it's a whole, that's different.
The producer and the engineer are, if not more important than the artist, as important.
Well, okay, so break that down.
If the beat is trash, I'm not even gonna get to the lyrics. And if I get to the lyrics and the vocals aren't processed well, I'm turning the song off too. You know, he might get to do a little calm verse. Like if the hook, the beat, and the vocals are processed nice, it might make the playlist. You know? But if one of those are wrong, it's all extra.
Talk to me about song length these days, because now songs, like a radio hit, as they used to call them, used to be somewhere around 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Now, songs are like, you might get 2 hooks in a verse. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? You say that's me. So that's how you make 400 songs.
Yeah.
Do you like that more? Or does it give you more freedom? Does it allow you to get more ideas out?
Honestly, the story could be told in a hook, in a verse. Like, unless you're really talking about something personal. If I'm just talking about clothes, they don't need to hear 3 minutes of me talking about clothes. Especially if like the beat is lit, you know, everything going on, just a quick bunch, just a quick vibe. But for more like lyrically driven songs, definitely I feel like you got more space to talk about what you're talking about.
When you think about your career also, are there other like artists that have come before you that you find aspirational, where you're like, I don't want their career, but I would love to have success in that realm? Or even how you might even define success.
So I think people like Prince, just so intentional. Like, not controlling everything, but just know what he wants.
He was
know what he wanted to look like, feel like, sound like, everything.
Yeah.
So just being able to step on all parts of the field, and like, I think he did that real good.
So you said we might get some little Tecca that's not rap.
I've made a lot of songs that aren't rap, honestly, but dropping them though, that's a whole nother story. Whole nother story.
Huh. Is it more so like you just don't feel ready yet?
When it comes to like stepping in other people's territories or genre, I just try to like be respectful.
I feel that.
I will never want to like make something that's like poserish.
Mm-hmm. You know? I feel that. You want to make sure like if you're coming from up in a place, you're actually contributing something.
Exactly.
Trying to ride it.
Exactly.
I can feel
I highly suggest you guys to drop songs in other genres, etc., etc. Like I'm gonna drop a country song on my new EP, Scorpio Season. Swear, not even playing. But majority of it is gonna be what everybody already knows, like what I'm good at. Then like, so that's gonna be what the majority is. And that's what you should do. I feel like you should make the majority of what people like from you and that you know that they like, at least. And the other side should be whatever the fuck you want to do. That's just if you're independent though. Once you sign and all that other shit, you gotta do all that. You gotta talk about that. But I'm saying if you're independent, why not? Like, why not? Like, even if those don't go nowhere, like who cares? Because you know for a fact that your original, for real, it's gonna be something either way, bro. So yeah, but make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe for sure as well.
Do that.
Hey there, I'm Blake. Lil Tecca, I'm a recent fan, but I've become a devout fan just in the last few weeks around the hype around Plan A. And as I understand it, you kind of started out just being a savage in these video game chat rooms. Is that right? And I want to know some of the chief memories of that, some of the formative experiences in those chat rooms where maybe your ego got the right stroke it needed to know you can do this. And I want to know if it's recorded, man. I want to know if we can hear some of these demos that came out of Young Tech. That's it.
Well, what's up, Blake? And those songs that I made on Xbox are gone. But here's what I will tell you though. Those weren't the only diss tracks I made. I kind of started moving into diss tracks to people in my school.
Oh.
And that's what the real diss tracks were. Those kind of started out the path of like me kind of wanting to make real songs, and like they were super trash at first. Because it came from like, when you're making a diss song, you got the whole topic out, you know? And yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy transition. But those songs aren't able up either because my guidance counselor at the time, she came up to me and was like, I heard your songs. You should start saying some nicer things to people. And then my mom, she didn't play no type of games. So I went home and deleted everything.
Like, do you get a catharsis? Can you like return to that sometimes, or you're in a totally different, your heart's in a different place?
Yeah, it's in a completely different place now, bro. I can't even. Yeah, they weren't really nice songs. They weren't nice.
He said those were mean songs.
Yeah, they were mean.
He done with them.
I can't.
Respect.
Oh man, appreciate your question. I'm gonna go right here on the front row.
Hi, Tecca. So I love your music.
Thank you so much.
When I first heard Ransom, I was like, wait a minute, who is this kid? Who is this person? Of course, I looked you up and I really connected that you're from Jamaica. Your mom is from Jamaica. I am myself immigrant from Africa, from Tanzania, which is in Africa, East Africa. So I was just wondering, how much is that, your upbringing as far as you with your coming from Jamaican background?
Being a Jamaican, first generation American, honestly has everything to do with who I am. Honestly, just hearing the music, the culture. Everywhere I go, I look for the nearest Jamaican spot. Like everywhere I go. So I believe that honestly, it's something I take a lot of pride in. And I know you see Bob's Cartel just got out.
Yeah.
Definitely trying to work with him.
Okay.
Sure, Cartel. Yeah. And shout out to Tanzania too.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. Going back into the music videos, right? Because that's like, I love the fact that you are like also experimenting with like directing and really shaping those things. How do you use it as an extension? Like, how do you use it as a form of expression?
Just because it's like it's another way to show how I'm feeling. It's another way to show like, this is how abstract I'm trying to get. This is down to the cameras we use, down to the angles, you know? Like, this is what I want it to look like, you know? Pinterest is a lot of my inspiration.
Yeah, you're the first person that got on this couch that has mentioned Pinterest, and I'm like, yes, because like
I go to Pinterest.
It's a lot of mood boarding.
A lot. And when you see what resonates with you, it just makes it way easier to build out that world.
Tell me about, I guess, the importance of trust in that process, right? Because now you're artist and you're director, but you also got to figure out to trust that team. And I know you had spoke about the trust when it comes to like the engineer and the producer. I just feel like it's even more vulnerable to be like camera and face and then like sharing that with other people. So how do you go about the trust and instilling trust in those moments?
Know my angles, know how I'm supposed to look, know how it's supposed to be shot. And if you could show me that, we would be the best of friends.
He said, if you can show me that.
Because, you know, when it comes to, it's a very big responsibility.
Yeah, that's why I
Very, very big responsibility. So if you know, because I know how I want to look, but if you can match that, I don't got no problem.
No, I've been on, I mean, you know, you've probably been on sets where you're like, show me the confidence monitor, right?
Like I want to
like, come see the
I want to see the angles.
Show me the frame, show me the angles, right?
Because now if I don't look at none of that, and I get the video back and I'm mad, I blame myself. I should have looked at that and made sure it was right.
I was hoping you was gonna say I was gonna blame them. But blame yourself.
Exactly.
It's a pleasure to be here with you. My name is Ja.
What's up, Ja?
What's going on? So I had one question. Out of all the songs in your album, which one would you choose to be in a movie if you could? And what type of movie would you want your, any song, but like, what's the particular song that you would want?
120.
120?
I'll put it in like a Scream type movie. They had like a party scene, someone going missing, you just hear 120 going crazy. It was
Fire. I just seen that video too. Kudos to you for that one. That was a fire video.
hell yeah, bro. Thank you.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. That was it right there, though.
I love that he was ready too. He was like 120 for sure.
Scream like a horror type,
Yeah,
like hardcore. I like that.
I love that.
All right,
Appreciate it, fam.
no problem.
Okay, man, thank you for like kicking in and answering my questions. Can y'all make some noise for Lil Tecca? Appreciate you, fam. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Congrats on the new project.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming too.
Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Check the links in my description. I'm finna bring back Getting Extra Free Income 2024, where I put a bunch of affiliate sites on there. But I just got a lot of stuff on there. Like, so I have to go check it. It's in the link in my description.